Partnerships and relationships are stressed.
You can see that line.
So reflecting upon the statement of art to the people, I wanted to look at three main engagement strategies that the Artist Studios employs, that being opportunities for local artists, as well as art in public spaces and community-connected arts projects. So in terms of opportunities for local artists, the Artist Studios, the Parramatta Artists Studios, has a studio tenancy program, which is really the core business of the Artist Studios. So we are an artist studio complex. We're not an exhibition space or an art centre. The Artist Studios opened in 2006 and since then has implemented an annual studio tenancy program, giving studio spaces to artists for a minimum of 6 months and up to even 2 to 3 years at a time. And those studio spaces range in size as small as 10 square metres, which is pretty small, which is actually this studio here, up to about 25 square metres. So there are varied sizes. And the artists that do take on board the studios do pay subsidised rent, so they pay between about $25 to $60 a week for use of the studio. And those rental fees actually sit within a national kind of rate for subsidised art studios. Like, we want to make sure that the studio spaces are accessible and affordable to the people that want to use them. Now, that's a pretty straightforward way of looking at our studio spaces in terms of the size and the cost and things like that. But in terms of the actual outcomes to local artists in particular and also to the local arts community, the Artist Studios are providing accessible studio space to artists that contribute to the locally based arts practices in terms of sustainable arts practices and of course to the wider local arts community. And I often find that the artists that are in the studios become these fantastic advocates and almost like tourism guides for Parramatta. So some of them are local and they have all that local knowledge, and the others that aren't local just come to Parramatta and they just consume themselves not only in their studio but in the community and in the spaces of Parramatta, and they know where to get good coffee and you know where to meet people and all that kind of stuff, and so they become these fantastic advocates for Parramatta in general. So in terms of the studio tenancy program, not only do we provide the empty space like this one, but we also provide professional development and mentoring opportunities. So we might get a guest curator or a commercial gallerist to come in and tour the studios and meet the artists and check out their work. So it's about networking, making connections, and just capitalising on all those professional development opportunities. Another opportunity in terms of providing opportunities for local artists to engage with their own practice and the local arts community. In 2006, under the directorship of Michael D'Agostino, who was the previous coordinator of the Artist Studios, the Parramatta Arts Fellowship was initiated, and the Arts Fellowship basically is a $20,000 prize that is given to an artist who either lives locally or can contribute or can demonstrate that they have contributed significantly to the local arts community, so they don't necessarily have to be locally based. And in the first 3 years of that fellowship, it was delivered in partnership with a UK-based organisation called ArtQuest, which meant that the actual winning recipient went to London for 3 months, had the $20,000 to pay for airfares, accommodation, and their living expenses, and they got to live in London for 3 months, make work, come back to Parramatta and exhibit their work in Parramatta. Now, in the last 3 years of the fellowship, it's changed, so we don't have the UK-based partnership any longer. But so now we award $20,000 to an artist to develop work over a year's time. So basically, it goes to either a local artist or someone who shows strong connections to the local area. Now, in terms of the next engagement strategy that we use, we often embark on projects that are in public spaces. So at Parramatta Artists Studios, we do have a small exhibition space, but it is not necessarily the core of what we do. We have those studio spaces which are really at the heart of the Artist Studios. So sometimes we venture out into the public spaces of Parramatta, and one of the most recent successful projects that we did was the high and lofty ecclesiastical banner project that was curated by David Capra, who I'm sure some of you know, who's the gentleman in the dapper outfit on the right. So basically the project, called High and Lofty, was a partnership with 4 local churches, and it was based on the banner form, which is a form which David uses in his personal practice, but he took on board the role of curator for this. And we approached all those churches so that we could actually display work in their churches. So we commissioned new works by artists to display in the churches. And the other aspect of that was actually displaying banners from the churches at the Artist Studios. So what you see here is a couple of those banners from the churches in the background. And in the foreground, we have the local priests from the churches. So from St Patrick's Cathedral, from Lee Memorial Church, we have Marianne Golding, who's actually the general manager at St John's Cathedral. And actually the gentleman on the right is a councillor for Parramatta Council. The next project I want to talk about quickly was the Motel Love Show, which was a recent exhibition that we did, which was a residency and an exhibition with the Motel Sisters, which are Liam Benson and Naomi Oliver. And the Motel Sisters are these fantastic fictional characters that are infatuated with being art stars in the art world. And they are these clever, kind of shape-shifting embodiments of pop culture, and they really investigate the glamour of celebrity worship. And they produce videos and performances and also perform live. So this is the Motel Sisters in Parramatta. The exhibition that they put on dealt with the Motel Sisters' love of Parramatta, as well as their recent travels overseas. They did a residency in Finland recently. And it was a kind of a cheeky mishmash of Parramatta culture, pop cultural rip-offs, Australiana, plaza shopping, and kawaii cute kind of culture as well. And it was really an exhibition and project that really overloaded the senses, not just with the amount of pink that was in the exhibition, but with all the crazy samples and the noise and the glitter and the fun. It was fantastic. This is them with a parking officer, and this is them with the local police. So you can see they have a lot of fun in Parramatta. Now, and lastly, I just wanted to quickly go through some community-connected projects that we have in Parramatta. One of the main initiatives that we have, which was also initiated when Michael D'Agostino was the coordinator at the studios, is the Urban Aboriginal and Curator Exchange Program. So this is, again, a competitive selection process, which we award $16,500 to a New South Wales-based Aboriginal artist to travel to Montreal in Canada to take up a residency at the Darling Foundry, which is a studio complex in kind of old Montreal, the old Montreal section. So the Darling Foundry, if you check it out online, it's quite a substantial studio complex with a huge range of studios, quite large studios as well, with a workshop facility, a fantastic gallery, a cafe on site. It's really a fantastic place to make work and to see work. And because it is a residency exchange, the Canada Council for the Arts, who we deliver this program in partnership with, also award a 3-month residency in Parramatta to a Canadian-based Aboriginal artist. So we've had Bear Witness come to Parramatta, Casey Adams and Scott Benason Abandon. So this is Scott, who was here earlier this year for 3 months, with some of the work that he produced behind him there. So he was here for 3 months, living and working in Parramatta, and produced this exhibition at the end of his residency. This is a project which is a very community-connected project which we do, which is called Weve Parramatta. So Weve Parramatta is basically a monthly meeting of mostly women, but it's not female-specific, who come together to share weaving, textile and fibre practices. So here you can see there is weaving out of recycled materials, so this is weaving using plastic bags. And this is weaving using natural plant materials, so this is bulrush. And these women, the women that come to these workshops have these amazing traditional skills in weaving, and are also, quite a few of them are elders within their own community, so it's really quite a powerful workshop. Weve is a really energetic monthly program which anyone can come along to, and it really is about that concept of traditional skills and innovating with those skills in a contemporary context and revealing those commonalities between different cultures, which is really key to the diverse culture in Parramatta. So that's it. We do have a current exhibition called Death 3, which I encourage you to all come along to. It's a fantastic exhibition, and I have some invites here. The opening night has passed, but there's details about the exhibition on the invites that you can all have. And our studio tenancy program is about to open if anyone's interested in a studio. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.